You were born with trillions of connections in your brain, many of which you lost because you weren't using them. But also, your brain was very busy making thousands of new connections every moment based on your experiences and choices, your relationships and uh, actions, behaviors. Relationships shape our brains, neurons reaching out to other neurons because they need each other and they have something in common. We'll be looking at the how we shape our children's brains, but also how our emotions um, influence and affect the development of uh, thinking and core beliefs about ourselves and the world, and automatic thinking, thought patterns that have become hardwired, loops or ruts that we get stuck in, and what we call cognitive distortions. So these are generalizations about reality and the world and the way things work and who we are and what we need to do and all these things, that is like a filter or a screen between reality, between the outside world, between the person who's talking to you right now and saying certain words and your interpretation of it, and where and how it registers in your brain and what it makes you think and feel and do. And so this distortion can cause you to misinterpret what someone is saying and to feel the wrong thing and to respond in the wrong way. So it's important that we begin to recognize and unpack and address these distortions. And they're so integral and fundamental to the whole operating system that we can't detect them. It's just how we are. And we tend to think that this is just me, it's who I am, and it's my personality, and it's how I was born. But actually, these are acquired viral programs in your system that were conditioned and programmed and traumatized and punished and beaten into you. They are not you, but you don't know that yet. So the more you learn and study and read about these things, the more you can begin to detect that, oh, I think I'm now misinterpreting this person's what they said to me, and I think I'm limiting myself here, uh, and I think I'm now imagining the worst rather than thinking of the best, or making a healthy assessment of the situation. There are many cognitive distortions. We'll get into them. But yeah, so it's important that we study these brilliant psychologists. So like while the ladies, the women, the mothers have given us this brilliant model for understanding parental attachment styles and emotional and relational schemas, we turn now to the men to understand the development of the mind and the psyche and the psychology and the behavior of it. So we'll look at evolutionary psychology and Darwin. We'll look at depth psychology or psychodynamics with Freud and Jung and Adler, and we'll look at the behavioral revolution of Skinner. We'll look at the humanist movement of Rogers and Maslow. We'll take a look at the cognitive revolution of Beck and many others. And then came the neuroscience revolution with guys like Dan Siegel and Jacques Panksepp and many others. And then coming to the body and the emotions. So guys like Bessel van der Kolk, Peter Levine, Leslie Greenberg. Yeah. So all of this stuff about neuroscience and about the brain and the architecture of the brain and the neurons and all of it is very interesting. It's fascinating, and if you're into that kind of thing, by all means do research and study. But it's not necessary. You don't need to know all of that because really it's telling us that our parenting behaviors and styles are shaping the child's brain. So you don't really need to know the ins and outs of the shaping of the brain, but you need to know uh, how your parenting methods and styles are influencing what qualities and characteristics and traits and behaviors in your child.